All right, next War Gamers, we're back. It's time for the Rock to do their basic reaction movement. Just going to point out that the PRC deployment here, there's a ZOC, even though it looks very spread out, there's a ZOC here, ZOC here, ZOC here, ZOC here, ZOC here, ZOC here, ZOC here. So there's no way to get past the line and hit the beachhead, even though it looks wide open. It's locking. However, that also means these guys are kind of hung out to dry. These guys at least can get some support from the sag. Even if I had moved this sag over, it still would have been out of range because he can't sit here. So that's going to be interesting. So this is probably the rock, or the rock's best chance to try to stuff the beachhead a little bit and get some momentum against these PRC invaders. So we're going to maneuver to that effect. And I think we're going to go ahead and just pull right across on here, which is also going to end up blocking access to that port. I'm going to take this off because we're going to end up in those hexes, which will remove that. So we'll move these guys with their strike marker into here. These independent guys, I'm not going to count out the movement because you can easily see that. Well, this one might be interesting. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2. So I have two choices. I can go 1, 2, 3, and a third, and then pay a bunch to go cross country. So, you know, whatever rough woods, I think it's 3, right? But it would be 7 to go there because there's a ZOC. Or, oops, I better undo because I don't remember where he started exactly. Or I could just go 1 and then 1.5, and then got plenty left over to get into that hex, right? I think we will send these guys that way. The question is what to do with these Laoyang. I guess we'll just pile in again. That's 1, 2, 3. That's 4 in there. The headquarters is going to move up here just to provide some area detection, even though he's used up both missions, right? So he can't do any support, but he can at least provide some air defense value. Sitting in the city isn't quite as good as being in that urban terrain, but it's not horrible. I think we're going to leave these guys here just in case. Again, these guys, on the other hand, they might need to come in and also press. I guess we'll press on the other side of this. Well, I want to avoid that. I also don't want to leave Tainan completely uncovered. So what do we do? I think, well, the problem is this terrain is way better than this terrain. So it's a dilemma. Or maybe we limit ourselves to 1 attack. Maybe we come across the river here. At least prevent that from happening and set ourselves up for a future attack. Once maybe this collapses, that's going to put some pressure on the Chinese or the PRC anyway. So I think we'll do that. So we're going to go ahead and run this attack. And once again, I don't have the appropriate chart up. I apologize. Too many charts. Too many charts. I highly recommend downloading the ones available on the support site. That way you can use PDF version instead of having to shuffle the print ones all the time. But not everybody likes to do that. So first thing we're going to do is set the initial, set the initial odds. So it is flat terrain. These guys would have been doubled had this been leg infantry only, but because the mech guys are in there, they're not going to be that way. So we're just going to count it up. So here we've got 5. We've got another 8 for 13, 3, because remember the strike 1 reduces it. So what did I say, 13? So 3 is 16. We're back to 19 again. 19 to 5 is just shy of 4 to 1 in the flat. So it'll be at 3 to 1. We'll be on column 10, but there's a remainder. So we'll go ahead and capture that -1 for the remainder in the odds. Let's see. What do we want to do? No will there be column shifts? No column shifts because we'll lead with the Taipei, the 66th Marines again. So that will not provide a column shift. And then both sides attack helicopters or allocate helicopters, air units, and naval units. The Allies don't have any air units to allocate. The Apache has already gone twice, so let's see if these guys can reach. What did I do? Oh, the wrong thing. Helicopter. I did it again. I don't have that one. I'm going to Control A. Sadly, the AH1s are out of range. You know, these guys might want to rebase somewhere a little closer. Maybe they'll rebase to Taiwan, but a little closer to the action. So that will actually use both of their missions. Since he can't do anything anyway now, we'll just move him. He cannot rebase because he's already used one mission. So the Allies will not send anybody in. The PRC, on their hand, does have some planes left. So they are going to send in some JH-7s to provide some combat support. So the Allied player will roll to detect. They're going to get their down to a 2 now. They're going to get a -1 for the HQ, though, because it's technically into this hex, right? And it's within 2 hexes of that HQ. And that's probably going to detect it. Not probably, it will. So let me find that chart. So Samfire is a 5. -1 for that HQ again. Sadly, that is not going to be enough. AAA of 2 with no modifier. I don't believe a 5 will do anything. It will not. So that +3 will apply. So we're going to be on that 10 column, but now we will be +2 to the attack. All right, so the rest, and then that guy can just go back to the phone box. He is finished. They are attacking from 3 to 4 hexes, so you're going to get a minus for that. So back down to +1. However, again, 2 different formations, the red and the yellow guys, right? Remember, this guy is supposed to be white, have to ignore the slight blue, and then he's independent as well. So that'll push it back up to the 10 column +2. And I don't believe there will be any other modifiers, so we're going to be on the 10 +2. We'll go ahead and roll that. It's a good roll. A 3 is a /1R. So this guy, because he was the efficiency unit, or the unit that got used for his efficiency, he has to take the first loss, if any. So we're going to reduce him. Now we get to retreat, and we're going to retreat 2 hexes, and we're going to retreat through a zone of control. And I am going to go pull that up just so we get it exactly right. Let's see. So if we retreat through a ZOC, it takes an additional step loss if it fails an ER check. Nice. Units retreating containing friendly units. Nope. So these guys will retreat this way. They will both take a check. Nope. The guy on bottom failed, so he's going to take a step loss, which is going to eliminate him, giving the rock some VP this turn. They're up to 4. And then there's an advance. You must advance at least 1 unit. So these guys will just roll into Hue, I guess. And that will be it for combat. And things aren't looking super rosy for the PRC. We'll figure out what happens. But we're going to go into the next steps, and we will probably roll through those as one, these last 3 things as one final video. Thanks for listening.